Hello, this is Paul Chek and welcome to my video blog today. Our topic today is awareness and core values. To begin with, I want to highlight where you can get more information. My book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, has a series of questionnaires that help you identify exactly where your body's under stress and key biological systems, and that allows you to know what values you may need to create in order to choose differently to heal your body and your mind and your emotions, and it gives you instructions in the book. Also, if you want more of the kind of information we're going to discuss today, you can go to chekinstitute.com or ppssuccess.com. I cover these types of concepts in my program, the 1, 2, 3, 4 for overcoming addiction, obesity, and disease. So that's for people that are more challenged and need a deeper, more step-by-step approach. That's about 9 hours of audio and about a 134-page workbook. Very successful for many, many people out there who have found it challenging to heal, and very, very good explanation of love and how it works in our life. PPS Lesson 1 is sort of the key PPS Success Mastery lesson, which covers how to find your dream or your legacy, how to create core values, which is what we're going to talk about today, although in PPS Lesson 1 we go a fair bit deeper than I can go here. How to heal issues and traumas from the past that may be limiting your ability to create your dreams now, and how to identify the 10 components of a dream so you know exactly what you're looking for and what you need to create effectively. And my last 4 Doctors You'll Ever Need How to Get Healthy Now ebook has a section on core values in it as well. So now that you know where you can get more resources, let's take a look at what we have for you today. First of all, I'd like to say something about awareness. Here's a Czechism for you. Awareness is the prerequisite for change. If you're unaware of the opportunities available to you or the opportunities that you can create, you're unlikely to change your behavior in any given situation, and therefore it could end up being Groundhog Day for you, which can be quite stressful if you keep looking in the mirror and seeing a person you don't really want to see, or experiencing a job you don't want to experience, or a life or partners, etc. that you don't want to experience. So awareness becomes the most essential catalyst for effective change. So today I've drawn up a little Czech sort of style learning diagram for you, and what we're going to do is start with what is awareness. So first of all, awareness comes from our I, our sense of self. We have to be aware of what we need, and we have to make our own decisions about who we are and who we're not. But awareness is essentially a component of the self, the sentient being within us that knows that it has a body and knows that it's hungry and knows that it wants a partner or a job. And that awareness really works through a variety of different systems in our body, which I would like to point out. So awareness is a process of looking, listening, and feeling. Most of us are used to looking, listening, and feeling, but most of us, for example, look and don't see, listen and don't hear, and feel and don't feel, shall we say, or feel and suppress it, or feel and become overly reactive to it. So we want to find the balance of our awareness tools so that we can be more efficient in creating our dreams. Now, when it comes to awareness, we have to look at the reality that we have to sort of have 2 ways of using these tools. We need to look outside of ourselves. You need to be aware of how cold it is outside so you know how to dress. But we also have to look inside of ourselves. So whenever we're looking, what are we seeing? And when we look inside of ourselves, we might look in and say, what are my values? Or how does that differ from my current belief? So the act of looking in always has to be counterbalanced with the act of looking out. If you don't look inside, you're not likely to listen or feel inside, because looking inside without listening or feeling usually produces a fairly, shall we say, not a very dense opportunity for gathering information or experience. It's too one-dimensional. So we have to listen outside. What is someone saying to us? What is the dog saying, or the horse, or the cow? And what are we feeling? Oftentimes, as many of you know, when we're listening to people, we can't really understand what they're saying, or we can look at them and tell that what they're saying really doesn't have anything to do with what they're wanting. It's just their habit. So we have to be able to listen on the inside and ask ourselves, what are my wants, feelings, and needs, and what are their wants, feelings, and needs? So you see, the inner listening is very essential to outer listening, or you don't really get effective hearing. You may hear the sound, but you may not actually hear the message. Feeling, we have to feel what's outside of us. Right now I can feel warm wind coming through the door on this beautiful Southern California day. When we're talking to people or interacting with animals, we're feeling the environment, but we're also being given an opportunity to feel what's happening inside of us. Not every one of us feels the same thing on the inside when we see a dog. Some want to run up and pet it. Some people feel afraid of it. We're not feeling the same things when we watch two people kiss and hug each other in a restaurant, or in the line while we're getting on the bus. So some people are looking at it having thoughts of disgust, while others are looking at it having thoughts of excitation and remembering how much love they have for their own loved ones. So there you see, we have the ability to feel what's outside of us and feel what's inside of us, and what we're seeing, hearing, and feeling become the most important indicators or sources of guidance as to how we will make decisions as it relates to choosing with regard to the values that are dream affirmative. Okay? So when it comes to awareness, then we have to remember that we also have the head to look, listen, and feel through, the heart to look, listen, and feel through, and the gut to look, listen, and feel through. The head is largely made of past ideas. That's why I drew it as a box, which means container. Remember, whenever you're dialoguing with your head, you're always using outdated information. It's old. There's nothing that's in your head as an idea or a memory that isn't yesterday's news. So you have to be careful not to use habits to make choices. And remember, you have the opportunity to use your intelligent mind to create novelty, which means new opportunities, something completely unique. In other words, it may not be a case of, as they often say on the commercials, this or that. It may be this and that. That might be a novel situation. Novelty comes from an act of creativity. So practicing creativity in your life whenever possible makes it easier to do it in your thinking model. We have to look, listen, and feel through our heart, which deals with this flow of spirit. It is spirit that makes your heart beat. It's spirit that makes your body breathe. It's spirit that is dancing inside of you. And the heart is where the animal self and, shall we say, the higher self are integrated into the body for one unique experience. So you can learn more about yourself through your heart than anywhere, because it's ultimately the one area of your body that's connected to everything from an energetic perspective. It's the great integrator. So when you're looking to heart, it's about looking, listening, and feeling through heart. It's about connection. It's not about thinking. It's about connecting. One of the things you learn from the heart is, do I feel comfortable to include? The heart is all about bringing in. So if you're looking at a given opportunity to buy a car, how does your heart feel about that, considering all the other things on the board? It's the integrator. So you can look at connection, then pay attention to the flow of your rhythms and your sense of pressure. Remember, your heart reacts to your psychological perception of stress and immediately changes blood pressure, stroke volume, pulse rate. And those are great indicators, because oftentimes you may not think you're stressed, but when you connect to your heart, even if you just feel your own heartbeat or take your own pulse, somebody may have just offered you a piece of chocolate, and your head may say yes, but if you connect to your heart and all of a sudden you notice your heart rate's rising up, and your sense of internal pressure is rising, you're getting a physical indicator of your emotional response. So always, whenever you're thinking about heart issues, sense what is the sense of my pressure inside, and are my rhythms speeding up, i.e. agitation, excitation? Is it a positive speeding up, like I can't wait to see my lover, or is it, oh my God, I can't believe I got to go through this again? So the heart is about connecting, and your physical response is rhythm and pressure, and those can be positive or negative. So you have to be aware of that, which means you have to listen and feel. Next, we have the gut. The gut is all about instincts. This is the home of the wisdom of your DNA and your biological intelligence, the wisdom of your cells, as Bruce Lipton would say. We always have an opportunity to do a gut check. If our head's online and our heart feels good, we can still do a gut check, because once again, the subconscious mind is loaded with information that is accessible to the heart if you're aware enough, but is usually distinctly separate from the head in our modern culture, where ideas reign so far above feelings and interacting at the level of the body. So the gut check relates to your subconscious or your body mind. What does your body have to say? Your heart may love the chocolate, your head may love the chocolate, but lo and behold, you may get a negative reaction from your body, and your body may give you a reaction up here at the heart, such as it's a common reaction for people with food intolerance to have an increased pulse, up to 20 beats per minute increased pulse after eating a food that they have an intolerance to. So you don't even have to wait to eat the food. All you got to do is look at it, hold it if you want to, or just think of it and just say to your body, for example, should I eat that gluten-containing cupcake? And your gut may actually react by telling your heart, I don't like the idea, which will increase your sense of pressure and speed your sense of rhythm, and you may see your heartbeat speed up right away before you even eat it, because your field is reading it. You can also use muscle testing. In my Eating the Chek Way program, I show you how you can use muscle testing to essentially do a gut check, which includes bodily reactions to stressors or potential opportunities. So do you have a gut consensus of what you're looking at, listening to, and feeling? And is your gut in agreement with your head and your heart? And we have to look at the gut's connection to the mind, to the heart, and to the body to get a consensus. And when all of you says yes, you'll find far more often than not things go much more smoothly and much more beautifully than they would had you not used your tools of awareness. And since most of us are creatures of habit, we often keep using the same thinking to try to solve a problem that created it, which usually never works. So awareness becomes the tool for change. So now that we understand awareness, let's take it a step further. Our guiding principle, based on my many years of experience coaching people with all sorts of problems, needs to be something that we love bigger than our problems, or bigger than the everyday doldrums of life, or the poor me stories that we often tell ourselves. So your dream becomes your chief mode of expressing yourself. It's your motive. It's your incentive. It's your inspiration. It's what you want to experience more than you want to experience what you're experiencing right now, or it's the process that you want to explore and go through to learn more about yourself and about life, and to share your love and your creativity and your expressions or your contributions to the world. So once we know what our dream is, we must remember that we need to have clarity, belief, and only when we have clarity and belief is action likely to be effective. Think of how many people start their New Year's resolutions and don't do it. Well, it's about 98%. If you had clarity and belief, you would take action. Otherwise, you don't have a well, shall we say, qualified dream. It means you may be dreaming outside of your own reality, which causes the inner self to sort of, the heart doesn't get involved if you're, shall we say, pipe dreaming, or not being honest with yourself. Okay? So once we have our dream, we're going to then create values. The 4 categories of values that I use as my basic structure are based on my 4-doctor model. Dr. Happy Values, it's up to you to decide I am happy when. Only you can define what happiness is. As Arnold Patton says, you must define life in ideal terms before you can live it that way. Most people have not done that for themselves. Dr. Movement, my movement values. You see a blue and a red line. My movement values around how I use my mind and when I rest my mind, and my movement values around how I use my body and when I rest my body. How you use your mind and how you use your body determines how your emotions move through you. So what are my movement values? Body, mind, and anything that moves in your life. Dr. Quiet, my rest values are. When will I go to bed at night? When will I take vacations? When will I spend time doing things that are not work-related? What's the balance between what we call work or rational output and play or irrational opportunities? So those things are related to not only movement but rest. Rest is usually unbound play. Your movement at work, that's going to be usually anchored in your clarity belief and the action items relevant to your dream. Even if working at your job does not seem to be directly related to your dream, it may be the best way to support you while you develop the level of knowledge, skill, or financial support that you need, so therefore your work is part of your dream. My diet, Dr. Diet, my food or eating values. Very, very, very important for all the things I've been talking about for years, and most of you have probably seen. So once we have the dream, and we have clarity, belief, action, and we've identified what our values are, we now know what to be aware of. Our ego has fully participated in the creation of this dream and these values, so it's now given you a set of commands that go up here into the black box, and the novelty is every time you make a choice that's dream affirmative, you're moving toward the dream. That's something new. If you keep doing the things that you were doing out of habit, you may be dreaming, but you have not adequately got to the point where you believe in yourself enough to take action, so you're still in foreplay. It's okay if you're aware of that. That's a good job, because at least you know where you're at in your own change process. Okay, so we have all of these functions and all of these flows, so the heart concept, the dream, becomes the compass. This is your GPS system that's looking, listening, and feeling through its head, its heart, and its gut, so that it can choose. The choice is the choice I'm about to make in line with or antagonistic to my own stated core values, which are my commitment to how I'm going to cultivate and utilize the energy connected to my love. Is my choice that I'm about to make ideal for everyone involved on my dream team, or is it a suboptimal choice which gives me instant gratification but can still be good because it teaches me what happens when I use my creative energy that way? Or do I need to do nothing? Doing nothing in this context usually relates to I need more information to make an intelligent decision so that I can make sure that my choices are in line with my values and affirmative of my dream. And finally, we have to remember that your core values are your opportunity to be very careful to distinguish what do I need in my life right now to become healthy, balanced, and whole enough to express this dream and go through this process, and what do I want? In other words, you may want a new car, but what you really need is to invest that money in diet or in help from a skilled Chek practitioner to help you balance your body and your emotions out and get you on the right diet and supplements that may be needed, or clean bugs out of your body, whatever it might be. That might be what you need, but you might want a new car. So when you're writing out your core values, it's extremely important to distinguish what you need from what you want and to prioritize that in the process of creating your dream. So there you go. We have covered the resources. We have covered what I believe awareness to be. We've talked about the importance of looking, listening, and feeling not just outside yourself, but inside yourself. Use your head, your heart, and your gut as a working system, because Great Spirit gave them all to you. None of them are accidents. Have core values. Look at needs. Take your dream, put it between your eyes so that you're in awareness. Make good choices. Have core values. Study these resources that I shared with you to go deeper. PPS Lesson 1, the 1, 2, 3, 4 for overcoming addiction, obesity, and disease. The last 4 doctors you'll ever need. And the basic information on how to eat, move, and be healthy is right here. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be back with another little lesson on something soon. We'll see what Spirit has to say. Maybe you'll be talking to me. Take care.